All right, welcome to my first ever Indians basically postseason game recap. I'm gonna start off with today's game, then break it down to this whole season and everything about the Indians in general. But firstly, this season in this playoff series, we lost game one, got killed. Game two, I mean, we came out hot, knocked up Tanaka. Carrasco was okay, but the defense was just horrible, and the rest of the bullpen was very bad. First big defensive play that cost us the lineup to Shields. Easy routine fly ball. Statcast gave it a 99% catch probability. You can't miss that play. That starts off the rally for the Yankees. Carrasco gets pulled when he loads the bases, which doesn't make any sense. They put in Karinchak, who's been historically bad coming into games with runners on. He gives up the grand slam to Urshela, of all people. That hurt a lot. And that just really swung the game from that point on. That the Yankees felt like at any point that they needed a big hit, they were going to get that big hit. And it was just a tough game. And then when we actually were able to come back off Luplo hitting a clutch hit, which was beyond shocking, to take the lead, you go into Brad Hand, who all year I kept saying I just didn't have faith in. He was getting the saves. It never looked good. He comes in for the biggest save of the year. Hasn't blown one all year somehow. Was not great in non-save situations, though. And he blows the save. And comes off his own error. And Delino had a small one in the outfield as well, moving runners more. And it was a pathetic game. And it kind of just explains where the Indians are at right now. Because you're not that close to being a World Series contender. I mean, you have a couple pieces here and there. Jose is great, of course. Shane might be good, maybe not in the postseason. I mean, you have an MVP and Cy Young on your team, but you're still not close because you have 8 other spots that are nowhere near postseason ready. First guy that comes to mind is Francisco Lindor. I mean, had 1 hit in the postseason. That's the guy who won't sign with us and will only take a $300 million contract. That might have just been his last game for the Indians, too. Very likely he gets moved this offseason, and who knows then? And you bet you have to get a ton to move Lindor, or you gotta let it ride again. But even then, it's like we're not close. We don't have the bats that are consistent enough. There's no bullpen that's that great, and the starting rotation is good and young. So the rotation's the only thing I think ready. They're just still young, really young. And so I think you have to move Lindor this offseason. And, the only other option would be signing a free agent, but you're not going to do. The Dolans are some of the worst owners in professional sports. They're okay with being mediocre. They're cool. They're okay with just making the playoffs and then getting knocked right out. And mediocre is not even going to work much longer in the AL Central. The Twins are going to be good for a while. The White Sox are going to be good for a very long time. The Royals are close to being good again, and the Tigers are about 2 years away from being good. So you're going to be mediocre, and you're never going to be great because you're never going to go sign someone else to take that next step. You're only just plateauing. You're just okay with being average. You're fine with never making it to the World Series. And I don't want to hear the Paul Dolan defenders of, oh, he signed Edwin that one time. Remember that one signing we had after 100 teams passed on him and his contract fell tenfold? But remember that one signing. Oh, or that one time we traded for Josh Donaldson, who was completely injured all year. That was another great thing that Dolan did. Or maybe that one time he got Andrew Miller and he sold Clint Frazier for a season and a half of Andrew Miller and only one good season of Andrew Miller. So we're just in a state of being okay with being mediocre. I don't see that changing. And it's just painful watching this Indians team. They're never going to be an elite team unless every prospect comes up at the same time and they all turn out to be elite. And we still do have a pretty decent farm system, so maybe we could take that next step, but it never feels like it's all going to be together at the same time, because every time we have the chance to take that next step, we sell all the guys close to leaving because we know we're not going to re-sign them. And it's just pathetic that you can't go back and re-sign these guys. You're in top organization this past 8 years. We've made the playoffs, I think, 7 out of 8 years or whatever it is. I don't think it's that much, actually. It's probably a little lower. Or sorry, we've had winning seasons 7 out of the last 8 years or whatever it is. You have to just be winning now. You go sign someone, re-sign guys. You have pieces. You just lack depth. And it showed so much this year. Like, they're trying to pinch hit at the end of game 2 tonight, and your go-to options are Oscar Mercado, who hit 128 this year, and then your next pinch hit was Austin Hedges, who hit 145. And even earlier, the Luplow hit was great. It was awesome. He's a 190 hitter this year. That's your go-to pinch hit, and I don't see it getting better. There's young guys there, and I don't think we're going to be bad next year. We have one of the best rotations in baseball again. But do I see us being good anytime soon? No. We might just go make the playoffs again. Are we going to go make the World Series? No, we don't have the bats. And we're not going to get the bats. They're not going to just appear. So unless you get, I don't know, you screw the Dodgers out of Seager and 10 prospects trading Lindor, I don't see anything coming to fruition anytime soon. So this was just a very disappointing end to the season. But it just feels like how reality is always going to be for these guys. Thanks for listening to this very, very depressing Indians talk. Hopefully, maybe if I do one after the Browns game Sunday, it's after a win, and I'm in a slightly better mood than this. So, see you guys.